This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Megas, and E3, we're on the cusp of it for 2017. It's crazy because I'm recording on June 9th, 2017. It's almost midnight, and technically E3 starts June 10th, which is fucking ridiculous. So the official start date for E3 is June 13th through the 17th. Now, we generally know that those are the official days, the Tuesday through Friday, with that Monday being the press conference day where the majority of the major publishers and console manufacturers do their press conference presentations, what have you. But this year we have a different scenario going on, especially since everybody's decided to spread things out, and now with the public factor being played in, I guess it kind of makes sense that these companies would want to kind of spread out their presentations so they can prepare themselves and prepare the floor for more people. Maybe that's the reason why. It also could be just people want more room to shine, want to have the ability to have the focus on them more, especially with Microsoft this year. I totally understand Microsoft's change of direction this year, which we'll get to in a second. But starting on June 10th, Electronic Arts is going to do their press conference. It's going to be a part of their EA Play, which is something that they decided to do last year. Instead of being on the traditional Monday day in between Ubisoft and Sony, they decided, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and do more of a fan base thing where we're going to be off-site. We're going to allow people to come and play, and we're going to do a presentation, but it's going to be something out of the norm. It's not going to be the normal, like, stuck in the time slot situation like they had before. So at 12 p.m. Pacific time, every time I give you it's going to be Pacific, so adjust it for your time slot. I'm on the East Coast, so that would be 3 p.m. for me, but wherever you're at in the world, just make sure to adjust. So at 12 p.m. Pacific time on June 10th, EA will be doing their presentation to kick off their EA Play, which is going to run through E3. Then you have Microsoft, who decided we're not doing the traditional Monday morning thing. We're going to move ourselves to 2 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday and do their press conference, which for me makes total sense. New hardware with the Scorpio, or whatever they're going to officially call it, being showcased. I figure they want the spotlight, they want the limelight, they want to give people a lot of time to digest and go over this, and it takes them off the I guess you could say off the target for Sony, because even though Sony's still coming behind them, it's going to be enough room for us to give Microsoft a whole day to be the subject of discussion. And unless Bethesda or Devolver do something on Sunday that is so ridiculously captivating with their presentations, Microsoft's going to own the day on Sunday, and they're going to pretty much own the morning on Monday as well, and it's going to be a better build towards the Sony conference to see what Sony's response is going to be. So I think it's a smart move for Microsoft to be on this Sunday, give themselves the limelight, help themselves build up the hype for Scorpio, because this is going to be very important. Because they decided to make this move, Microsoft has put the onus on the fact that the Scorpio is going to be a significant point in their story as a console manufacturer. I've said it many times and I'll say it again. I thought this was a totally unnecessary move. Scorpio is not needed. The Xbox One, even though it's trailing the PlayStation 4 in sales, was never a necessary thing. The Xbox One S was never a necessary thing, to be quite honest. But Microsoft and their obsession to want to catch and eventually beat out Sony and be the top brand, it's led to this, where we're going to get a third Xbox console in 4 years. Think about that, people. Mind you, they say that this isn't a generational change, but there's something kind of crazy when you think that even though this isn't a full console generation change, that you get your third version and second upgrade of a console you launched 4 years ago, all in the attempts to try to catch up and eventually outsell your competition, which I don't think was never necessary. The Xbox One has been doing fine. Sure, Sony's outselling them 2-1, but Microsoft's not lacking. They're still ahead of their Xbox 360 sales. They're doing well. And this is why it puzzles me, like this obsession with being like, okay, we gotta beat Sony, we gotta beat Sony, we gotta beat Sony, we gotta beat Sony. And it, with the other things going on in the background with the company, with the current CEO when he came in, wanting to possibly get rid of the Xbox brand, with Phil Spencer, they're having to fight that fight to keep them as a part of the Microsoft brand, with the whole, even though we have the Scorpio on the rise, we've seen news that Microsoft's been losing other exclusive things. Like we just heard FIFA is now going to do exclusive content for the PlayStation 4, even though the Scorpio is coming, which everybody on Microsoft is banking on. The more powerful system is going to be the more popular one and take over, and this is going to draw the third-party developers back. Well, we've just saw a major third-party developer decide, you know what? Who cares? We're leaving you guys and we're going over to Sony and taking our exclusives to them. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna be doing and how things are gonna shape up. Then of course, like I said, Bethesda is gonna be Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific, which is pretty damn late. That's midnight my time. If you're somebody in Europe, that's fucking like 5 a.m. your time. Bethesda, what are y'all doing? I'm curious as to why these press conferences are so late. I mean, Devolver is at 10 p.m. Pacific time, which, again, that's 1 p.m. my time, so I probably won't see that till the next morning. And if you're in Europe, again, geez, you're probably heading to work when they're on. Very curious. But then you have the traditional Monday conference day. Ubisoft is going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 4 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. European, at least on the western side of Europe. And then Sony's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. my time. If you're over there in England, France, that's kind of late for you guys. That's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm sorry for you guys, but yeah. And then Nintendo's doing their Treehouse starting at 9 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday, which is noon my time. So that gives us a little bit of time to get some rest, or at least to wait. Lunchtime people can go watch things like that. Afternoon people in Europe maybe heading home can go out and check it out, things like that. But yeah, that's the rundown for E3. Now, as far as what I'm expecting, the biggest part of the show is going to be Microsoft. Totally, Microsoft is the headliner, because with them introducing new hardware and with their whole design behind this, their planning, their process, their reasoning, this is a big deal, because I think this is going to be a pivotal moment in their history as a console developer. And again, this is something I've said before. I think what we see with the Scorpio will define with us the future of Microsoft's Xbox console brand. I don't think the Xbox brand is going anywhere, because I think this is a brand that they want to keep. This is why they've been putting it on the PC. This is why you can get a live account on PC and play games with the Xbox Anywhere thing. Why they put it on smartphones when they came with the Windows phones and all of that. Xbox Music, Xbox Video, so on and so forth. They're trying to make this a brand comparable to the Apple name, the i name, the iPhone, iPad. They want it to be that big. But they're resting a lot on the Scorpio, because again, as I said before, their plan is they want to outshine their competition. They want to recapture the lead in the console market. And it's understandable, because as I've said again before, the original idea behind the Xbox One was they wanted this to be that device that everybody had in their living room. That was the brand sitting, like when you look in your living room and look at your devices, you have your TV, you have your Xbox, which does everything. And that would supersede any other brands, because they built the box to actually be a multitasking multimedia device. Of course, people had the backlash to that direction, and they had to steer more towards the gaming. Well, now they want to recapture the gaming market, because I believe they feel they can get the gaming people back. They can then convince them that not only is this is just great for gaming, but you can also sell this as a multimedia box. Because let's be fair, Xbox 360, that's kind of how the sales went. It was touted as the best gaming device, and then over the years, if you looked at the Xbox press conferences leading up to when they announced Scorpio, a lot of Microsoft's presentation during E3 had to do with their multimedia features on there. The big EA deal that they announced, the thing with UFC that they announced, and so on and so forth. And that's how they marketed it, because they were pushing towards the idea that, hey, this isn't just a gaming device. This is something that everybody in your family can use as well. It's the ultimate gaming device that also offers so much more. And I think this is where they're going back to that type of push, instead of where when the Xbox One was originally announced, it was like the one box for everybody. They didn't just focus on the gaming community. So I think it's very important for them to get Scorpio off the ground running. It's going to be tough though, because what we've seen and what hadn't been paid attention to until now is that beyond the exclusive factor with Xbox 360, as far as exclusive third-party deals, Microsoft has never been a huge first-party console gaming company. Sure, they have first-party games, huge first-party games, but the depth has never been there. A lot of the selling and pushing point for the Xbox 360 came off of the third-party deals, the Call of Duty deal, when Call of Duty was in its heyday, in its prime. Mass Effect, the Remedy games, Alan Wake, things like that. The exclusive DLCs and stuff like that, the timing, all of that carried a lot of weight with the Xbox 360. On top of having the best online features with Xbox Live. Now Sony, while the online features I would say is completely comparable with Xbox Live, they're much better. Sony's now getting the exclusive deals, with the third parties. And on top of that, you're starting to see the thing that kind of carried the PS3 back and helped them once they dropped the price of the PS3. You basically see that with the exclusive library, Sony's kind of gone back to being the gaming platform. And Microsoft is being shown as like, yeah, good system, great online, but your depth of gaming isn't there once you take away those exclusive deals. And I think that's one of the things. I think Microsoft's fixated on the fact that when these consoles were launched, a lot of the conversation was, well, Sony runs the games better. I think it has moved way beyond that, and way to the point where, hey, take away the exclusive content, take away the quote-unquote I run better conversation. Sony's got a lot of games, like, just period. And so, and that is an attractive thing to someone who's specifically buying a console for gaming. You know, I guess maybe, especially with Call of Duty, even though Sony has the Call of Duty exclusive deal, it's run its course. And if you've noticed, shooters, while they still are popular, they're not the biggest draw anymore. Things are starting to kind of diversify now. So Halo and Gears aren't as big as they used to be. You know, Forza is still huge. Forza seems to be growing, but beyond that, where's Microsoft growing at in their exclusive library? Whereas Sony, their exclusive library is so diverse, and then they're getting all these third-party exclusives because there's certain genres that Microsoft never catered to that they're trying to push further into, with like Phil Spencer going to Japan and trying to build better ties and stuff like that there. But it's never been a market that has been a part of Xbox history. So they're in a really weird spot. And then you have to factor in the fact too that now they allow their exclusives to be on PC, and PC is a very much growing market again. A lot of people are discovering PC gaming and are jumping on the bandwagon. And with Microsoft offering their exclusives on PC, it just makes it harder to think that you need to get this Scorpio. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to sell this. This is going to be the biggest point. This is going to be the process that we're going to see. You know, this is going to be what this E3 is going to possibly be one of those E3s that we look back to and say, hey, remember when Microsoft finally stopped making consoles? Because I honestly think that they're banking so much success, so much pressure on the Xbox Scorpio that this could be their final piece of hardware that doesn't do what they want it to do. And I hate that because, again, I don't think that they're being unsuccessful this generation. They're more than successful. They're fine. You know, you can't always be the top dog. It's not like they're Nintendo where they struggled with the Wii U sales. They're not struggling. They're actually doing well. So this whole thing confuses me and it fascinates me, and I'm so curious to see it. Beyond that, though, there's still a lot of stuff that you can look forward to. EA, I got Battlefront 2. I was a fan of the first Battlefront. I wasn't like everybody else and thought it was a bad game. I can understand part of the thin content argument, but it was a recreation of the original Battlefront that most people don't want to acknowledge. Okay, I understand that. Rose-colored glasses. We never see things the way they truly were, especially since Battlefront 2 came out, and that's the thing that most people are remembering anyway. So it's like whatever, and even that's getting the rose-colored treatment, but that's neither here nor there. But we'll see what Battlefront 2 is going to be. I'm curious to see if EA is going to announce their other Star Wars games that are in development, because they do have other Star Wars games out there that are coming. So far, we've only had them give us information on Battlefront since they got the deal from Disney. And just to see what other things they're coming out with outside of the sports things. We know we're going to get hit with the FIFA, Madden. NBA Live's probably going to be hitting us too as well. This might be their last hurrah, to be quite honest, for that game if it doesn't do that well. So we have that to look forward to from EA. Again, we've already gone over Microsoft. Bethesda, people are speculating you'll see a new Elder Scrolls game, so that could be what's up with them. Of course, they got to show some Quake Champions, things like that. Possibly Doom 2. We'll see. Devolver Digital, not sure why they decided they needed a conference, but they've been publishing a lot of games. Maybe they're that big on Pyre. Either way, curious to see what they got to show. Maybe a Hotline Miami 3 people. We'll see. Ubisoft, of course, is going to probably show us the new Assassin's Creed. With Far Cry 5 being announced, we'll probably see some gameplay of that. What else could they put on the table? Crew 2 has been talked about. What else can we see? That Rabbids game, which is going to weird everybody else with the Mario stuff, probably going to be there. Of course, Just Dance. We'll see what strange musical presentation they do with that shit. They could do another Splinter Cell. It's been a while since they've done Splinter Cell announcement. They have some Ghost Recon. Rainbow Six content. And they probably do have some Ghost Recon content as well for Wildlands that they're going to announce. Maybe another Division. We'll have to see. What Ubisoft's going to do. And then, of course, Sony. Sony, I think, is going to be your safest, maybe most bland conference. While I do expect Sony to announce some unknown exclusives, I think you're going to see stuff like, you're going to see Spider-Man, because the Spider-Man movie's coming out. They're going to have to announce a date for the Spider-Man game. God of War, you'll probably see some more stuff on. You'll probably see some more Days Gone stuff. They're going to probably do another spot for the Uncharted DLC. I don't expect to see a lot from The Last of Us. I know they already said that you're not going to see much from... you're not going to see anything from Death Stranding, so Kojima's just doing his thing with that. He probably going to save it for Keighley anyway, because he said he's doing an interview with Jeff Keighley, so Jeff Keighley gets to gush over his man crush and probably show some exclusive material. What else? Let's see. What else does Sony do? That's about the breadth I expect. And like I said, maybe one or two new exclusive titles getting launched. They might show some Red Dead stuff since they got some exclusive on that. Oh, you'll probably see some Destiny things, maybe an announcement of when the beta is going to be, stuff like that. But I feel like Sony's going to be a safe conference. And then Nintendo, of course, is going to probably be the one that you're not going to see that much. You're definitely going to see Mario. Maybe they're going to talk about the Pokemon stuff that they announced during the Direct. Can't think of them doing anything demonstrative though. Nintendo rarely does that at E3, so if they do, it'll be a surprise. And I think that's pretty much the bulk of it. So Microsoft is going to be the highlight, the thing that's going to probably stand out the most, that's going to draw the most interest. Again, I'm very interested to see, because I want to see what they're going to do, what their future is, and how they're going to carry it. Hopefully it goes well for them. I would hate to see them go out because of their just over enthusiasm to be put in first. I mean, I don't mind you wanting to be the best, but sometimes you have to look at situations and you have to assess them, because I don't want them to do anything that's going to cause them to run themselves out of business in this obsession. You have to be smart about it. I think that's what Sony did the last generation. After they fucked up and put out an extra expensive console that shouldn't have been priced at that much, they reassessed. They looked at the market. They were like, okay, what can we do to configure our like marketing plan? They scaled back some things on that system and dropped the price. The system was still as powerful as it needed to be for gaming, and still had features it needed to have beyond the backwards compatibility thing. They were able to cut the price in half, and they just put the emphasis on, look, okay, we fucked up. We tried to tell you this is going to be the greatest piece of hardware ever. That wasn't what you wanted. So what we're doing is we're going back to the basics. We're going to tell you why you guys loved us and show you the library, give you the games that you want. The PS Plus service ended up being bigger than they expected, because it gave them people an option to delve into the library further for a small price yearly, and they were able to utilize that to rotate it into making it a paid service for online as well. So that worked for them. And they just like games. They just pushed that. That's what they did. They didn't stray away from what they were. Like they tried to like just go, hey, power, features, we're the best. No, they were like, okay, God, this is why you bought into the PlayStation brand in the first place. Here, let's go back to basics. And this is what they've been doing for the past few years. This is why they've been doing very, very well. Stick to that, Sony. You don't need to like do anything demonstrative. But we shall see. And Nintendo, you're doing well. But still, I need more games, more software. Let's see what they're gonna do. It's gonna be an interesting E3. Anyway, thank you guys whoever stayed and watched to this point. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the content that I'll be putting out for E3. You'll be seeing a lot of reaction videos. You'll be seeing me tweet a lot, so follow me at black_magus, BLAK_MAGUS on Twitter. Look for live stuff on Twitch, YouTube. All the links in the description. We're just gonna be hanging out. Also, Wise Guy Gaming, Sports and Entertainment, gonna be doing a lot of content over the weekend with reactions and things like that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So please come through, check us out, have fun with us for E3. All right, everybody. As always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll hit you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.